Hello, welcome back. In this video, we're going to make sure that we can fire the bullet that we created in our last video. So the first thing that I want to do is make sure that this bullet is actually a prefab. So let's go ahead and take that projectile that I made. I've got it the way I want it, so I'm just going to drag that into my prefabs. There it is. Now I can go ahead and delete this from the scene, and I still have a copy of it saved here, so I can use this as a template, a prefabricated object. Before I go in to make my shooting, I'm going to go ahead and create some objects on my player to make it so I can shoot. So I'm going to make an empty game object here. One of the little tricks I learned about Unity is if I go here to this little icon, I can actually give myself a little marker right here. So I'm going to use this little green diamond, and what that does is it lets me actually see this invisible object right here. And I could use a circle instead. If I like that, I can pick my color. You can even import custom images if you like, but I'm just going to leave it right there. This is going to be the point that my bullets spawn from. I'm going to call this the right bullet spawn. Now, I'm going to push play just so you can see how this looks. I'm going to move the game over here. That way we can see in both the scene view and the game view what's going on here. Okay, so here I am, and if I move, you can see that the ball moves with me. But if I turn, it doesn't move with me, and that's because you can actually see that the skeleton is always facing to the right. That's because we just moved the sprite render, we didn't move the actual object. So that's just a preference for how we do this. So in order to make it so I can spawn in both directions, I'm going to take that right bullet spawn, I'm going to push Control D to make another one, and this one is going to be called left bullet spawn. Okay, before I go any further, I want to make sure that this red arrow is actually pointing to the left. That way, when the bullet comes in, it will spawn in that direction. So I'm going to put 180 degrees on the y-axis. That way the left bullet spawn is actually facing to the left. Okay, now if I push play, I should have this left and right objects moving with me. There we go. Okay, I think we're ready to start scripting the bullet. Let's go ahead and go to the player. And on the player, I'm going to start collapsing all these things. And I'm going to add another script machine. Let's go ahead and go into our script graphs. I'm going to create a brand new visual scripting script graph. And I'm going to call this shoot. Okay, so that was on the player on this second script graph right here. This is where a title would be good because I've got multiple shoots or multiple scripts on here. I'm just going to say shoots, bullets. Okay, let's go ahead and edit that graph. For this graph, we're going to want some object variables. We can see right here that we've got a couple of other variables from the previous script. So let's go ahead and say that we have a projectile prefab. This is the bullet that we want to use. I'm going to go ahead and add that, and that is of type game object. There it is. Okay, so right now it doesn't have a value. We'll go in and assign that in a minute. Let's make another variable. Let's call this right spawn. And right spawn is going to be of type, I'm just going to search for this, transform. So transform is going to give us the position and the rotation of this object, and that's all we need from it. And then again right here, sorry, keep forgetting, left spawn. And the type here is also transform. Okay, before I go any further, let's go ahead and assign those. So I'm going to exit out. And on my variables, I see it right here. Projectile prefab. Let's go ahead and go to the prefabs. A little trick, I can push the lock button right here. So this inspector screen doesn't go away while I'm clicking on things. Not scriptcraft, we need prefabs. Okay, there's my projectile prefab. And then for my right spawn, I'm going to go to the player, and I've got my right bullet spawn, and my left bullet spawn. Okay, now this one, we already have this is facing left here that we established earlier, so we're going to use that as well. Okay, let's get back into our graph. Okay, I recently learned that previously we found out what button we were pushing using the input system. There's a easier node to do that, so got a mixed technique here. But I'm going to go into events, and then right here we have input, and I see that I've got on keyboard input right here. And I can just choose which button I want to use. So I'm going to say, let's say keypad enter. And when I push that, then we're going to go ahead and instantiate. Okay, we're going to instantiate a bullet. And so this takes three arguments right here. The original object, the position, and the rotation. So let's go ahead and say the original object is this projectile prefab. And then we're going to do the position. The position is going to be either the left spawn or the right spawn. So let's go ahead and grab an if. And then actually, let's do this. If is facing left is true. Okay, so I have an option for true or false. If that's true, then we're going to go here, and we are going to spawn, and we're going to use the left spawn. Okay, now this is a transform, so what we're going to do is take that, we're going to do the position from there, but we're also going to do the rotation from there. Okay, so right now we should be able to spawn if we're facing left. However, we also want to do this if we're facing right. So let's go ahead and copy this. And then we're still going to spawn a projectile. However, this is only going to work with the right spawn. And we're going to use the right spawn's position and the right spawn's rotation. And then I'll just take the false and have that go there. Okay, I made a little bit of a mistake right here, and the thing is, right here from this left spawn, we are going to need to get a position and get a rotation out of here. So all I'm going to do is do transform.position. Okay, so we're going to get the left spawn's position, and that's going to go there. And in the same way, transform dot rotation, we're going to get the rotation out of a transform. So let's go ahead and do that and move that to the rotation. All right, same process over here. I'm just going to take these two, push Control D to copy them, and then move them up here. And here's the right spawn's position, the right spawn's rotation, and then I'm going to put the position here and the rotation here. Okay, this should work now. Let's go find out. Okay, moving left, moving right, and then pushing the keypad enter, and I now have bullets that I can shoot. Okay, we'll make these bullets do something else. We'll start making some enemies that we can destroy in the next video.